So just make sure that you are feeling comfortable in your seat, your spine is nice and long. And you might close your eyes or keep them open, whatever feels best. But I want you to focus on your breath for a few moments. So as you breathe in, inviting that breath all the way down your torso. And as you breathe out, inviting that breath up from your pelvic floor and out. So full, smooth breaths. And noticing as you're doing that, how your body feels. So I asked you all what you wanted to work on, but really checking in and noticing how you're feeling, setting your intention for how you want to feel when we're done with practice today. And when you're complete with that, taking your hands onto the floor or your legs and starting to make some circles with your body. So this gives us a great opportunity to see how the low back around the pelvis is feeling. After a few times in one direction, just pausing and switching directions. And again, eventually coming to a stop. And we're going to take one leg and stretch it out. Let's just say the right leg. So it's at an angle, and maybe have the other foot in towards your groin. And we're going to take the hands and place them around your straight leg. And again, sitting up nice and tall and nice full breath. We're going to inhale up and exhale. Either slide your hands down your leg or walk your fingers down the floor. Inhale up and exhale down. Now, one of these times when you come down, I want you to hold on to wherever your hands come to. Relax your body and your head towards your leg. Long, smooth breaths. And on an inhale, we'll slide part way up, and we're going to keep the left hand on the floor on your leg, and you're going to start to walk that right hand back into a little twist. So you're twisting towards the right side, using your hands to help give you a little bit of leverage. On an exhale, turning back towards your leg, inhaling up. Then we're going to bring that foot in and stretch the other leg out. And again, taking your hands around that straight leg, gently pivoting your body towards it. Inhaling up and exhaling, walking or sliding down that leg. And again, on one of these exhales down, we're going to hold on to the leg or the floor, relax your body and your head towards that leg, making sure you can still breathe fully. And again, we're going to come part way up, keep your left hand on the floor or the ground and your right hand, and start to pivot using your left hand as leverage. So gently twisting towards the left. Again, long, smooth breaths. Again, we're going to turn back towards the leg on an inhale, come up. Then we're going to bring the bottoms of our feet together. And the hands are at the side, and then you're going to bring your knees up. So inhale is going to be, we're going to extend the arms up, open the knees out. Exhale, bring those knees together and your hands down. So inhaling up, exhaling down. And just moving at the rate of your breath. And the next time that we inhale up, we're going to exhale those arms down, but keep your knees open. You're going to find your tennis balls. And if it hurts, I want you to either get rid of the tennis ball or back off, right? It's not supposed to hurt. You're gonna lift up one leg and put the tennis ball, so your sit bone stays on the ground, you're going into the glute, right? Then bring that leg down, then lift up the other leg and place the tennis ball in there. So some of us have more muscle back there than others, so making sure it feels okay. And then we're gonna gently rock side to side. You're still breathing and just noting how it feels. Now, if you choose, you're going to come over to one side and use your legs and your elbow to help lift you up. We're going to take the tennis ball right into the center of that glute. I was getting a massage yesterday. We were having a discussion about how we hold emotions in our hips, you know, and I said, yeah, I've always had a lot of junk in my trunk, you know. Now, when you feel like you've had enough on that side, because I know some of you might want to stay longer, you're going to lift yourself up and then go over to the other side. And of course, you make this work for you, so whatever feels good in your body is what you're going to do. Now, eventually, again, you're going to start to feel complete on this side, and then we're going to come up, take those tennis balls out. We're going to, again, keeping your butt on the floor, you're going to push those tennis balls in towards the front of your sit bones, and then stretch your legs out a little bit, and then you can either roll like front to back or a little bit side to side. So this helps to loosen up those connectors into the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. Now, eventually, we're going to straighten out those legs and make sure, and it's okay if you keep a little bend, right? And so now you're sitting up nice and tall, you feel those tennis balls, but it doesn't hurt. Hands on your legs, inhale, body up, exhale, slide forward. And just moving with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. And obviously, if it's just like if there's discomfort, too much discomfort, get rid of those tennis balls. And again, next time we come up, we're gonna take those tennis balls and you're gonna sit up now and place the tennis balls to the back of your pelvis. And depending on how your body's feeling, right, you decide how close to your body those tennis balls go. We're gonna lean back into the tennis balls, bend your knees, and again, move your knees side to side or move your pelvis front to back. You're still breathing. Now, again, we could keep doing these things for a very long time, I know. But eventually we're going to take the tennis balls out. We're going to come up onto our hands and knees. So if you'd like a little padding under your knees, go ahead and place your blanket under your knees. And your wrists are going to be just slightly in front of your shoulders, knees slightly behind your hips. And engage your core a little bit. And then we're going to inhale, body, parallel to the floor. Exhale down towards child's pose. And again, moving with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling down. Now, next time we come up on the inhale, we're going to step those hands just slightly forward. And we're going to inhale forward, drop your hips towards the ground. And then exhale back either into puppy pose with your forehead towards the ground or into child's pose, whatever feels better for you. So inhaling forward, exhaling back. Just starting to warm everything up with the body, noticing how your body feels, how your energy and breath are flowing. Now next time you come up, let's take that right foot and step it forward. And so when you do that, you want your knee over your ankle, and then you're going to take that back knee behind your hip, so you're opening up the front of that hip flexor a little bit. Long, smooth breaths. Again, if your knee's poking into the ground, please throw a blanket underneath. And then we're going to move with the breath. And some of you might like blocks under your hands if you don't come to the floor easily. You're going to start to straighten the leg, flex the foot. Don't sit down on your heel because you'll lose your stretch in the hamstring. And then you can move front to back, or you can stay in either of the positions. You're going to keep breathing, keep moving, noticing how you feel as you're moving. And then next time you come forward, we're going to step that right foot back and bring your left foot forward. And again, same thing, check out your position, knee over your ankle, back knee behind your hip. Maybe holding the position for a breath or two, and then whenever you're ready or want to, extend that front leg and bend it. So next time you come forward and your knee is bent, we're going to turn those back toes under and lift yourself up into a lunge. Again, using blocks as needed. And now we're going to bend and straighten that front leg. And you can, with your front leg, you can come up onto the heel and lift the toes up off the ground, or you can keep the foot flat. Again, next time that knee is bent, you're going to reach your back knee now towards the ground, not touch down, but just reach it towards the ground and straighten. So you're just bending and straightening. That back leg and your front knee stays bent over the ankle. And next time you lift up that knee, I want you to notice your hands on the floor. We're going to lift the back foot up off the ground. All right, so think about it first. And then you're going to take your weight into that front foot, lift that back leg up. And the foot is flexed, so your muscles are engaged. And then I want you to contemplate lifting your fingers off the floor and taking them onto your leg. Or you can bring them out to the sides or overhead. It's just an exploration. You're still breathing. And then eventually, you're going to take the hands to the ground, bring your right foot down to the ground and step back with your left foot. So now we're in a lunge on the second side. You're still breathing. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to bend and straighten that front leg. And you can, again, lift those toes off the ground as you're straightening the leg and keep the foot flat. Notice what helps you to stretch in a way that feels good in your body. And next time the front knee is bent, let's bend and straighten that back knee. Still breathing. So once we straighten that back leg out again, we're going to take the weight into the front foot and start to lift that back foot off of the ground. Engage by flexing your foot in the back. And again, contemplating the possibility of taking one or both hands off the ground, out to the side, overhead. See what feels good. And then, again, as you start to feel complete, taking the hands to the ground, your foot to the ground, so now both feet are underneath you. We're going to take the hands onto the legs. Inhale halfway up, and exhale in towards your legs. And it would be totally okay to keep a little bend in your knees here. We're, wanting to stretch the back body, not just the backs of the legs. And then on one of these inhales, let's come all the way up. And you're going to find a tennis ball. And for just a moment, let's roll your foot on the tennis ball. Always my happy place. And you decide how much pressure you want to put on that tennis ball. Just exploring how it feels as you move around the foot, through your arches, the pads of the feet. And then let's switch feet, roll on your second foot. How's everybody doing? A little bit warmed up? All right, so again, another thing I could do for a really long time, but we're gonna take the tennis ball and set it off to the side. And then standing with your feet about hip width apart, feel your feet on the ground. And I want you to take the front pads of the feet and lift your big toes up and take the little toes down. Keep breathing. And then take your big toes down, little toes up. And one more time, little toes down, big toes up. And last time, big toes down, little toes up. And this time I want you to imagine, or take your pinky toes towards the ground so you have the three in the middle, standing up. And keep breathing. And then relax those feet. Roll through your shoulders, inhale, shoulders up towards your ears, exhale, let them slide down your back. And then we're gonna feel the feet on the ground, and we're gonna start by, as you inhale, take your arms up a little bit, come up onto your toes, and exhale down. And you're gonna gradually move your arms up until maybe they come in line with your ears. And so it's not, and none of you are doing this, it's not swinging your arms, right? It's extending them with your breath as you come up onto your toes. And then we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to take one arm forward, one arm back. And again, gradually bringing those arms up until eventually maybe they meet over the top of your head and you're alternating sides. Your body and your face still point forward. You mentioned balance at the beginning, so this is a nice little thing that not only helps you focus on your balance, but it brings your energy up. It's a nice morning exercise to do. So next time you finish your second side, we're gonna step the feet a little bit wider, maybe as wide as your mat, and have the hands on the outside of your legs. Inhale, body up, exhale, you're gonna slide down. Inhale, back up, and then alternate sides. And then if it sounds inviting, you're gonna start to slide that outside elbow up. And you're, again, only moving as quickly as your breath moves. And the last thing we'll add on here, if it sounds good, instead of sliding the elbow up, take your arm all the way up overhead in line with your ear. There's no rush, you're just noticing how you feel. And again, next time you finish the second side, you're gonna pause for a moment and then extend your arms out. And so now inhale's gonna be up here. Exhale, you're gonna take your right hand onto your left leg and slide down just a little bit. Inhale back up and then take the second side. And some of you might like to have, I have my mat the other way, so my feet are a little bit wider. So if you feel like, switching your bodies around and having your feet a little bit wider, go ahead and do that. And you might find as opposite hand.
I had ACL surgery 8 weeks ago, so I'm just like
Yeah,
Okay.
explore and do what feels good.
Yeah.
And you might find as you're doing this that you want to deepen or not, right? So you're doing what feels good in your body. So if you can remember what side you started on, when you finish your second side, we're going to come on up now. Your feet are parallel, and I want you to pull in towards the center so you can feel those inner thighs engage. And then we're gonna, again, be in our 5-pointed start. Inhale's gonna be up here, exhale. You're gonna bend your elbows and your knees and press your hands like you're trying to squeeze a big fat head. So, and I say that because I want you to use your hands when you come down. Beautiful. And next time you come up, let's step those feet together. We're gonna use a block. Not everybody will want to use one, but I want you to have one close by just in case. If you're at home, you can use a chair or a stool or side of the couch. And we're gonna have that block on the outside of our left foot. Now, just like we did before, we're gonna start with our hands at our heart center. You're gonna take your weight into your left foot and lift that right leg off the ground. And inhale is gonna be up here. Exhale, you're gonna let your leg guide your body, right? So as you lift that leg, your body's gonna come forward, but it's like the body and leg are one, right? They move as a line, so you're not bending at the hips. And then eventually, we're gonna bring ourselves back up. We're gonna switch to the second side. So weight now on the right foot, lift that left leg up, keep breathing, inhale up, exhale as you start to lift that leg, and your body comes forward. Breathe and focus. Now again, eventually, we're gonna come up, and we're gonna take the weight back into that left hand. We're gonna step back with our right foot into a high lunge. And then we're gonna take that left hand onto your block. You're all looking good, okay. Now, as we lift up, we're gonna take that back foot off the ground again. You might slide your block forward a little bit. And the right hand is on your hip. So you're gonna find your balance, and then possibly you're gonna open up your chest and your shoulders. So we're coming into Ardha half moon. And so you might start to take that right hand off of your hip, and then you find a comfortable place for your head, looking towards the ground, straight ahead, or up towards your lifted hand. Keep breathing. And then we're going to bring the hand down to the hip, close the hips and the shoulders, and come back into our high lunge. And then let's bring those hands onto the ground. So you're in a lunge, your hands are on the ground or on some blocks. And now you're going to take your weight into the hands. You're going to take that front foot and lift it back into your 3-legged down dog. Keep breathing. Then you might bend the knee and take that foot behind your back, opening up your hips. Beautiful. We're going to take that foot down to the ground. And then we're going to step forward your other foot. So now we're in a lunge with the right foot forward. You're going to switch your block over to the second side. I'm going to flip around. And again, we're going to bring the left hand onto your hip, and you might slide the block forward as we lift up that leg. Find your balance, engage your legs. And then possibly you're going to open those hips and shoulders. And if it feels good, extend that left arm, find a comfortable place for your head. Keep breathing. Oh, looks so amazing. And again, when you start to feel complete, we'll take the hand onto the hip, close the hips and shoulders, come back into our lunge with the hands on the ground. And again, you're going to think about this because you know now what we're going to do. You're going to have your hands on the floor. We're going to take that front foot and reach it back into that three-legged down dog. And again, if it sounds good, you're going to bend the knee, take the foot behind you as you open up your hips. And this time, as we close the hips, we're going to sweep that foot forward and we're going to come into a pigeon prep. So you're going to slide that foot in front of you and you're going to find a comfortable place for that shin. And some of you might like to put a blanket under your knee. And I like to do this with the toes turned under and your knee, your back knee off of the floor, right? And then you're going to walk your hands back, open up your chest a little bit. You might be wondering, those of you who are used to doing this, but I like to do it with the knee off so that you don't skew your hips, right? So your pelvis stays nice and even. And you might start to make your way down towards the floor onto your elbows. And again, keep that knee off the ground, keep your toes turned under. You're reaching the heel behind you. And you're breathing. And then ever so gently, we're going to place that knee on the floor. Maybe make our way up onto our hands and we're going to bend that back knee. This is where some of you really might like a little blanket under your knee. Now some of you, you might walk your hands to the inside of your bottom knee and reach back with the same side hand and pull that heel in, or not, right? You still get benefit from reaching that heel towards your buttock. And you're breathing. And again, when you start to feel complete, we're going to take that foot down. Have your hands under your shoulders. We're going to turn the toes under and lift our hips up. Stretch that leg out. Roll through your ankle a little bit, a couple times in each direction. And then we'll take that foot down. Lift your other leg up. And we're going to sweep it forward again into a pigeon prep on the second side. So finding a comfortable place for your lower leg on that front leg. And again, back knee off the ground, toes turned under, heel reaching towards the ground, softening your shoulders away from your ears. Chest is nice and open, and then possibly coming towards the ground. Again, when and if you're ready, gently placing that back knee on the ground, coming up onto your hands, bending your back knee. Maybe walking those hands to the inside of your knee and reaching back with the same side hand. No forcing. And when you start to feel complete, gently releasing the foot, hands as wide as your shoulders, turning your back toes under, sweeping that front leg behind you, rolling through your ankles a couple times in each direction, and then carefully placing that foot on the ground and hopping or walking your feet forward. So now you're in your forward bend again. We're going to inhale halfway up and exhale more deeply into your legs. So just coming back to your center, noticing your breath, your body temperature. How's your heart doing? And then on an inhale, we'll come all the way up. And once you're up, let's roll through those shoulders once again. I want you to shake out your wrists and your arms. All right. And again, we're going to have our feet about hip width apart. And we're going to inhale those arms up, come up onto our toes. And then sit back into a balanced chair. So your heel heels are lifted, possibly you, of course, can always have your heels on the ground. On one of your exhales, we're going to take the heels to the ground, hands onto your thighs, and slide into a forward bend. On an inhale, we're going to slide all the way up, lift those arms up overhead, lift your heels off the ground one more time. Into our balanced chair as you exhale. Keep breathing. Again, when an exhale comes, heels come to the ground, hands onto your legs, slide down. And then let's inhale all the way up. And so this next one, so take a moment, make sure that you have your balance and your focus. This one you can do with a strap, or you can do it with a bent knee, right? So the bent knee would look like this with no strap, or a straight leg with the strap on the padded part of the foot, right? So you're here, or you're here, and if you're using a strap, walk your hands down so your elbow is straight. Find your focus and your breath. You can always use a wall or a chair to hold on to. And then we're going to slowly, because you're exploring how it feels as you open that leg out to the side. So it's not about how far you can get it, it's how you feel as you're moving that leg. And eventually, you're going to come back to the center and take that foot down to the ground. Keep breathing. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch sides. So again, bent knee or straight leg. And then as you're ready, walking that leg up, walking your arm down the strap so your elbow is straight. And then slowly exploring how it feels to open up that leg. Breathe and refocus. Keep breathing, and when you're complete, we're going to bring that leg back to the center, slide it down. Hang on to your strap because we're going to use it again. We're going to take the hands onto the thighs. Inhale, body up, exhale, slide down. And then inhale all the way up. We're going to go to our first leg again, so weight's on the left leg. Again, using your bent knee or the strap. We're going to walk the leg up, and this time we're going to hold with the opposite hand. Right, opposite hand and leg. Now you're going to take that right arm and bring it behind you. And slowly, ever so slowly, you're going to start to bring your vision towards that back hand. Beautiful. Now let's bring the head back to the center, arm back to the center, foot comes down. Take a nice deep breath. And then we're going to do the second side. And remember, you can do this absolutely with a bent knee too. Okay. Strap on the second foot. Walk that leg up. Hold with the opposite hand. This time, left arm comes behind you. And starting to turn your head towards that back hand. Keep breathing. Eventually, head and hand come back to the center. And your foot comes down. You're going to release our strap now. Take your hands onto your thighs. And this time, I want you to have your knees bent, at least a little bit. And we're going to inhale up. Exhale, slide down. We're going to take our hands onto the floor. So bend your knees however much you need to do that. And we're going to keep the elbows straight. And you're going to, on the inhale, legs are straight. Exhale, bend the knees. Take your butt towards the ground. And just notice if your elbows want to bend and then straighten them. But try to keep the elbows straight. You're just bending the ankles, the knees, and the hips. Now, eventually, we're going to come all the way down into a squat. And you might take your feet a little wider. You might turn your toes out. You might put a blanket under your heels so that you can weight your feet feet front to back and not just the front of the feet. Hands towards your forehead or heart center. A nice rounded back here so you get a nice little stretch in your back body. As many of you know, I like to say, just picture all the stress rolling off your back into the earth, like water on the back of a duck. And from here, when you're ready, no rush, it's in your own time, we're gonna come down to the ground. And we're gonna make our way onto our belly. So if your hips poke into the ground, feel free to place a blanket under your whole body, not so that there's like a big bump, like open it up so that it's not a bump in the center of your body. So here we are, we're gonna come onto our belly, and you might take your forehead onto your hands or your forearms. I just want you to rock your pelvis side to side, so kind of loosen up your butt a little bit. And then we're going to take the hands in line with the chest, your elbows are pressing towards your body. And inhale, so imagine this, you're using your pelvis to help connect you to the floor. Inhale, you're gonna lift your hands, your chest, and your head. Exhale, come down to the ground. So we're just moving the upper part of the body. Inhale is up, exhale is down. And imagining that this movement is starting from the base of your spine, right? Starting from your pelvis instead of the mid-back, right? So gently press your pelvis towards the floor and then start to lift up. Still inhaling up, exhaling down. Now, next time you come down, you can relax those hands for a moment, or you can keep them in line with your chest. We're gonna work on the legs. So now inhale, you're either gonna bend your knees and flex your feet, exhale, bring them down, or you're gonna inhale, lift both of your legs, and exhale, bring them down. Depends what feels good in your back body. Right, so you're either straight legs or bent knees, or some of you might like to alternate the two. But again, noticing where does this movement begin from. Now, next time your feet come to the floor, we're gonna place those hands back in line with the chest, and we're gonna put those two movements together. So inhale, you're gonna lift your upper body and your legs. Exhale, come down to the ground. And this is a beautiful way to strengthen your back body. And remember, you can bend the knees or keep your legs straight. Inhale is up, exhale is down. Now, next time you come down, we're gonna slide your forearms forward so that your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Hands are on the ground. And now I want you to imagine that your breastbone, your sternum is reaching forward. And see if you can feel what's happening at the base of your rib cage. Okay. And again, I want you to wiggle your butt a little bit, soften your buttocks. And here we are, we're opening up through the chest, softening your shoulders away from the ears. We're going to bend those knees now and reach them towards your buttocks. Not your knees, your heels. Now, very carefully, we're going to slide your right hand in, take your right foot to the floor. You're going to possibly reach back with that left hand towards your left ankle. And you could absolutely do this with your head on your forearm. It doesn't feel good to have your chest lifted. Always exploring and making the pose work for you. Right? We don't work for the pose works for us. Now we're going to gently release. Take that left forearm down onto the ground. You could relax in between if that's what your body calls for. And then we're gonna bend the right knee and possibly reach back with your right hand. Still breathing, not forcing anything. And again, when you start to feel complete, we're going to gently release that foot, and we'll press back into a child's pose or puppy pose, or if you don't want to be on your knees, you could be on your back body and bring your knees into your chest, right? Always, always something else, some modification you can do if something doesn't work for your body in a particular way. Now, eventually, we are going to meet on our back bodies. So back on the floor with your knees bent and feet flat on the ground. And this one's a multi-step pose, right? So what I want you to do is we're going to keep the left foot on the floor. You're going to cross the right knee over at the knee. So we're crossing at the knee, not the ankles. You're going to press down with your left foot, lift your hips up, and move them to the right. So you're moving them to the side of the knee that's on the top. And then very carefully, you're going to start to bring your knees over to the left. So the hips are moving right and the knees are moving left. And then you might turn your head away from the knees if that feels good in your body. Still breathing and moving out or making it less of a twist so that it works for your body. On one of your inhales, we're going to bring the knees and the head back to the center, and then you'll press down with the left foot and bring your hips back to neutral. And we're going to uncross the knees. So again, we're starting in a neutral position, and then we're going to cross that left knee over the right. And again, you're crossing at the knees, not the ankles. You're going to press down with the right foot, shift your hips to the left, and this time the knees come down towards the right. And again, if it feels good, you might turn your head away from the knees. Again, on an inhale, shifting back to the center, straightening out your hips, uncrossing the knees. So again, here we are, we have our feet about hip width apart, the knees are bent. We're going to keep the left foot on the ground and take the right leg up towards the sky with the foot flexed. And the leg is perpendicular to the ground if your body works like that. And you're going to clasp your hands behind the thigh. So now inhale is going to be here, right? And you feel that little dance happening with the back of your thigh and your hands. So you're isometrically pressing hands into thigh, thigh into hands. Inhale, press the foot up towards the sky. Exhale, take that knee in towards your chest. Inhale, press the sky. Exhale, take the knee in towards the chest. We're going to do it one more time. And then when the knee is towards your chest, we're going to release the hands and gently place that foot on the ground. And then we'll bring the left leg up, and again, creating that little dance with your hands at the back of your thighs. You press the foot up towards the ceiling. And again, inhale, leg extended towards the ceiling. Exhale, pull that knee in towards your chest. Moving with your breath, no rush,
Noticing how your body feels as you move, maintaining that dance of hands pressing into thigh and thigh pressing into hands. One more time. Again, once that knee comes towards the chest, we're going to release the hands and bring up your other knee. So now you have both knees towards your chest. We're going to roll through the knees a couple of times in each direction. And when you feel complete with that, we're going to take that left foot down to the ground. And again, that knee is still bent. You're holding on to your right knee. And I want you to just move through that lower leg. So as big or as little as you want to make circles with that lower leg. And again, going in both directions. You might feel the back of your hip pressing into the ground as you make those circles. When you stop, we're going to place that right foot on the ground, lift up the left leg, and do that same thing. Nice big circles with your leg. A couple of times in each direction. Now, when you feel complete and you place that foot on the ground, we're going to walk our knees and our ankles towards one another. This is exactly what we did when we were sitting up early on in the practice. So you have your arms at your sides and the knees and the ankles are touching. Inhale, you're going to take the arms overhead, open your knees out, bottoms of the feet come together. Exhale, knees together, arms come down. Just moving with your breath. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. No rush. Just noticing how your body feels as you're moving. Now, next time those knees come together, this is where I want you to stop and check in with your body. Does your body need anything else? And if it does, I want you to go ahead and do that. And from there, we're going to make our way into Shavasana. And then when I invite you out of Shavasana, we'll do a short little breathing and focus practice. So anything else that your body needs, go ahead and do that. And then make your way into Shavasana. You might put socks on or a shirt. Take a sip of water. As you start to settle in, softening your eyes, softening the muscles in your face, around your jaw and your throat. For the next few moments, just allow yourself to be heavy, to be supported by the earth, to let your breath flow. So as your attention starts to come back to your breath, to your body, take a moment to notice how you're feeling and asking your body what would be most helpful, most gentle to start to move and awaken, and in your own time, eventually making your way up to a comfortable seated position, which does not mean you have to sit in a cross-legged position. So moving however your body desires, and coming up to comfortable seated position. If you need more time on the floor, you can absolutely stay on the floor and do the breathing practice down there, just as long as your spine's nice and long. And in whatever position you're in, your eyes are closed or they're half closed, focus it on one spot. I just want you to start to breathe in and out through your nose. And as you do so, I want you to cue in to notice what's happening in your nose as you're breathing in. And I want you to choose one spot. So notice where you feel sensation as you're breathing in. And then for the next few breaths, I want you to just focus on that one spot. And don't let your mind get you to change spots. Once you choose a spot, stick with it. And the reflection might be, what would it be like to move throughout our day with one pointed focus, where we focus on one thing at a time and do it really well, whatever that one thing is. Whether it's driving our car, or having a conversation, or washing dishes, or eating food, where you just do that one thing. And then when you're ready, releasing that kind of focus and just noticing how your body feels. And we'll close with 3 sounds that I love. So inhaling, we're going to reach up towards the sky with both hands. Exhale, we'll make the sound hew to the heart. Inhaling, arms out to the sides with the palms open. Exhaling the sound ah to the heart. And inhaling, scooping up around you and from the earth the sound om to the heart. May you each walk through today with one pointed focus, with whatever it is that you're doing. So I really appreciate you joining me, and I thank my teachers, past, present, and I acknowledge the lands that I live and work on, and who never stay. So thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.